All right, Youth Schola. I hope you are taking on the Youth Schola Challenge, and I'm going to totally geek out for a while here and give you some tips and pointers on how to read through this Introit with some of the things we've been learning, and also just for the sake of some of the new nooms we're learning and some of the new things that we're doing. So just I'm going to go through it fast and crazy, and that's just how it's going to be. So we start looking at this for Advent 3, and we're going to say what mode is it in, and we know because it tells us right here it's in mode 1. Mode 1 and 2 go ray to ray. We talked about the final. If we go down to the end of the Introit, which is here at this double bar, remember the double bar? This is actually the psalm verse. You don't have to worry about that. So here's the end of the antiphon, and what is that solfege syllable? Well, let's see. Let's go back to the top, and where's our do clef? It is on that top line, and beware that it can move. It's not always on that top line. So that top line is do. You know by now that that makes the low do down underneath on the space. So therefore, that first line is re. And we go to what ours called our final, and sure enough, it is on that first line, which is re. So we know the top line is do, because the do clef. We know the bottom line is re, and we know that space is do on the bottom. And if you're working through your solfege, you can quickly know also that we can look for the reciting tone, or sometimes it's called the tenor. We can look for that in the psalm verse. Oh, you see all these punctums. Remember the punctum? Which is just these squares. What solfege syllable? You see a bunch of them right there on that line right there. And which one is that if we're looking from the top down? Do, ti, la. It's la. So we know re is on the bottom line. La is on the second to top line. Do is on the very top line. So you got some pretty solid solfege syllables. Now the next thing we need to do. Dun, dun, dun. Do we have any flats? Oh, yeah, we do. We have them. Everyone on the, I'm not going to circle them all, but on that top space, there's flats on all of them. So what's that solfege syllable? Top line is do. If we're going from the top, it would be do, ti. But we got a flat, so it's going to be te. Do, te. But, you know, we always we know our do to do, but mode 1 and mode 2, they go re to re. So you need to start hearing this in your head. Re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, do, ti, la, so, fa, mi, re. And then, to get this mode of this introit, now we got to do te instead of ti, which is going to be re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, do, te, la, so, fa, mi, re. And that is the mode for our introit. Re, mi, fa, sol, latte, latte, pumpkin spice latte. So there we go. So that's your first step if you're going to try to work through this in solfege. And then what else do we need to know? Let's see. Remember, you see this, let's do a different color. Ha! Whatever color that is. You see this little asterisk. And remember what this is called? The intonation. I'm not going to write it out for you. So somebody can, one person can sing the intonation, and then the rest of the school joins in at the asterisk. We also have talked about quarter bars, half bars, full bars, double bars. So quarter bar there, because that's typically after the intonation. Half bar here. Be especially aware of the full bars, because when you see these full bars and you're looking through this chant, you're going to know right before that full bar. So you got to know before you get there, there's going to be a slowing down and a tapering off like we do in chant. So definitely be aware of those. You know, of course, when I have you learning an introit, I always want you to know what you're singing. It is in Latin, Most of us don't know Latin, so I usually try to write them for you. But this introit in English is rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice. Let your I've got it all mixed up. It goes on, let your forbearance be known to all men, the Lord is at hand. Do not be anxious over anything, but in all manner of prayer let your request be made known unto God. So even though it's in Latin, we still want to get, and even if nobody knows the words, we want to get people praying. And so we can do that by really expressing the music in an appropriate way, even if the people listening and praying don't really know the words that we're singing. We still have to perform it beautifully in a way that we get that message across musically then. So always keep that in mind. And then, of course, to read the Latin, and we'll talk about some of that later. Let's talk about some of the neumes. Let's see, we know our quilismas, the we have some of those, and remember the is actually a pitch, and you guys are pretty good at these, so I don't want to talk too much about them, but it's a pitch in the middle, and it's going towards the top, and you want that middle pitch to be light. If we do our little games in choir, that's how you spell quilisma. Yeah, I think it's just one L. And then what other neumes have we learned? We talked about this guy, which is like some monk decided he was going to write these down, and he went and plucked a feather off of a bird, and it was easy to just make the stroke down. And so this is actually, one thing you need to know is with these, how many pitches are actually there? So this is called the correctus. And there are 3 pitches there. But, you know, of course, be aware, like here, it's got an appendage at the beginning, so there's actually 5 there. So you always need to count and make sure you know how many pitches are on the syllables, okay? If these are hard to read, and I thought they were at first, what you can do, I'm down here on the 3rd line, if you need to visually, like, just imagine, oops, I can't do it. Shoot. Imagine, like, erasing the middle part of that to make a square note. So, let's go back to my pen. You're going to see, like, that the square note is there, and then it goes down, and then it goes back up. So, the correctus always goes, it starts high, goes down, and then goes back up. Now, it's not always the same pitches in here. It looks like everyone goes down, up. It starts up, goes down, and up. And they're all like that, it looks like, until this one. He's a little different. So he actually goes on me. Well, he's got this at the beginning of the punctum at the beginning of him is on re. Goes up to me, and then down to do, and then up to re. But all the other ones just go back to where they started. So that makes it kind of easy. So that's the correctus. And sort of the opposite of the correctus, and I haven't taught you this one yet. Let's do another color for fun. Blue. Sort of the opposite or the inverse of the correctus is the torculus. And the torculus is really self-explanatory. And it's a group of 3, and so it goes down, up, down. It's just kind of the opposite. Yeah, and they're all even. So those are pretty self-explanatory. Another thing to notice when you're reading through a chant, and this is important too, episemas. Horizontal episemas. There is something called a vertical episema. We're not going to worry about those. But the horizontal episemas, like this right here, that means we're going to emphasize that syllable of that word, and there's going to be a lengthening. So basically it means watch the director, okay, to see how to hold those, because they're not going to be equal in length. All right, so there's some nooms for you. Oh, I just love geeking out. Don't ever forget the wonderful Podatus. See him? Yeah, Podatus is fun. A fun fact, if you put it Podatus in a translator, the Latin translator, like on Google Translate, is not very good. It kept translating it as potatoes. So that's interesting to me. Oh, I think it's time for a joke. So, third Sunday of Advent, that's the Sunday that the priests and the deacons wear pink. Only the official liturgical color is not called pink, it's called rose. And why might that be? Because Jesus didn't pink from the dead. Jesus rose from the dead. Ho, 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 ho. Yeah, that's just a joke. That's not actually... Oh, it is called rose, but yeah, liturgical colors later. All right. So, anyway, I think probably I feel pretty good. Oh, no, there's one more thing I wanted to tell you about here. Oh, I can't even remember what colors I did. Let's try this one. So, with Latin pronunciation, you see accents on some of these. They're like, well, up here. In Latin, typically if you have two syllables, the accented syllable is going to be the last one. If you have more than two syllables, the accented syllable is going to be the second to last. And if you've ever heard the word penultimate, it'll be the penultimate syllable. I always felt like in school, like it was a requirement to use the word penultimate to sound really smart. But if sometimes it's not the case, and but they will show you where the accented syllable is with this. If it's not the penultimate, sometimes they'll put it even if it is the penultimate. But especially if it's not, pay attention to these, because that'll tell you how to pronounce the word. Another thing is, this is a fun word. Nihil. Nothing. But the crazy thing in Latin is that H is actually pronounced as a K. Nihil. And there's another Latin word, mihi, and it's the same. Instead of an H, it's like mihi. And those are the only two I've come across. I'm sure there might be more. But those are the ones I come across in chant. So don't try to pronounce that with an H. It's Nihil. Okay? Another pronunciation tip is with your C's. If it's followed by an I or an E, it's going to be chi, like a CH. So if it's just like, here's a different one. That has an O, so it's not dicho, but dico. But if it is an I or an E after, it would be che or chi. You knew one of the words in one of our songs was the voca, so it wouldn't be vocha, but voca. So look out for the I's and E's that come after the C's. They're going to make it a CH, chi. Okay? There's one more noom. Oh, I'm super geeking out. This is one of my favorite nooms, so I want to tell you about it. It's called the liquescent. I've made such a mess here. But you see at the very beginning on, can I erase this? Oh, yeah, there we go. Right at the beginning, you see this cute little, it's a little baby noom. Sometimes it does, because you are used to reading bottom to top, but that little baby one, he comes second. So, re, do. This is the liquescent noom. What he does here, how he functions is ga. And then this U right here, you're going to change the vowel on that little baby liquescent. No, ga, oo. And you're going to do a really quick oo, ga, oo. Sometimes this word sounds like Gaudete. Okay, don't ever in any of this sing gow, okay? Sing ga and put the oo in really quickly before the de. Choir directors and choir teachers love to like get all bonkers about something called diphthongs. And this is one of them. It sounds really ugly in choir to sing a word like gow. If you gow, so you want to hold the ah as long as you can. Let's see, the liquescent noom. I know there's another one in here. Down here. Now this one, instead of a vowel, is this is for the L. So then you'll put the L on this little baby liquescent noom. Sol. So yeah, it could either be a vowel or a consonant. So that's where you put it on. So again, don't forget to know where your horizontal episemas are. And I hope you are enjoying this challenge. Like I said, we'll talk more about half steps. I saw Mary, like the actual Mary, not like the other Mary who was T-Rex. I saw you wrote in some of your music about chromatic notes on the saxophone. So half steps are sort of the chromatics. So yeah, we'll learn more about that. You guys are really learning a whole lot of stuff, and I'm really proud of you. So hope you're taking this challenge on, and hope you're learning all this. You guys are going to get really good at reading this stuff. You're already really, 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 really good at sight reading, and your sight reading is going to really help us to sing in modes. And modes are cool because really, like, that is what is unique to church, is singing in these modes. You don't often hear these really anywhere else. I hear a mode and I think, I know we're in church when I start hearing all these cool modes. So congratulations, and I look forward to geeking out more with you. All right, I'll see you soon.